The Ravens were scouting for the secret rebel base. Pieces of the Sky Ripper had surfaced. Could go catastrophically wrong. But he was sure he could figure out how to use it safely. Also, a temple had risen out of empty desert. The Iblis stone was hidden there. It was a dangerous artifact. It could corrupt its user into a bloodthirsty monster. Maybe he could find a way to use it. To take its power without surrendering to its wickedness. And also, his old friend Lapino needed rescuing. Of course, Renard had a pretty strong suspicion that Lapino had betrayed the rebellion. And he had a gut feeling that he needed to use that to his advantage. The island was windswept desert. No one went there except ostriches and ostrich hunters. The Iblis stone. It would whisper promises in his ear, offering...
Vamos seguir o caminho da pedra.
Every child could sing verses about the Sky River, but ancient codices held hints of other things. A stone that ate souls, a ruby that drank blood, a jewel only a righteous man could give away. Were all those things the Iblis stone? Long hidden in a buried temple, another ancient item that was only resurfacing now, drawn up from the deeps by the Emperor's horrific rituals. Searching for a way in. Good. And he hadn't come too late. There had to be some way to use the Iblis stone. was old, wasn't it? People were so much cleverer then. And Renard was pretty sure he was cleverer than most people. Get past this point. Obviously, the temple builders knew how to deal with tomb raiders. A cannon trap. Who doesn't love being shot at by cannons? And who kept these things loaded anyway? It was a stone of the purest blackness. It reflected no light, like a void made solid.
Já tô até cansado de fazer esses finais sem ver, velho. Eu preciso platinar.
Who said that? It was the stone. Eager, thirsty. That seemed tempting and terribly wrong. Zenobia was the Emperor's greatest general and a potent witch. But they had been close once, and he had a sneaking suspicion the gem would try to control her. Why not capture the core of Sky Ripple instead? It was the eye of a lost god, torn out by the transcendent Emperor to power his greatest weapon. "It's the core," said the stone anxiously. But even though Renard knew how evil the gem was, he had a clever plan for dealing with it. The stone bothered him. He hated being told what to do. Wasn't that why he joined the rebellion? Wasn't that why he'd refused to be a soldier? He'd agreed to come on, but...
Bora.
The moment he landed the Farfarer, Renard had a rare feeling of regret. It's not too late, he thought. He could turn around and sail for Zenobia's island. He frowned. Wait a minute. He didn't want to kill Zenobia, did he? Sure, technically she was the enemy, but they'd been at Sword Food School together. They'd never been lovers, but somehow they'd been closer. She'd told him every secret about herself. Except the biggest one. That she was the Emperor's daughter. No. Kill Zenobia, whispered the stone. Before it's too late. There was something sour in the air. Like the earth had ruptured over something that had been fermenting for a very long time. The stone hadn't lied about what it could do for him. With each raven cut down, he felt a jolt of power flowing into his arm. Whispered the stone. The core. Are you afraid of it? It chuckled. But it's stable. It's poisonous. Just carry it. And if you try to use it, it will explode catastrophically. Renard did not trust rocks that talked in his head. He went onwards. As he approached, the stone became hysterical.
pode fazer o mesmo caminho, né? Porque na real tem um outro que a gente não
He had a
fez.
sudden vision of plunging his gauntlet into the core and dying in anguish. That wasn't his vision, was it? The stone had sent him its darkest fears, hadn't it? He had a sudden impulse to do exactly that. He raised his right fist and plunged it into the core. There was a rush of light. He thought he could hear the stone screaming. He had defeated the demonic gem with the power of his mind. He felt invincible. It was time to attack the Imperial outpost on the Nexus. Take the battle to the enemy. But among the huge crystals, there was also an observatory. A wise man would probably ask the scientists exactly what he had first. How wise was he? As the Farfarer sailed to... The Nexus was infested with Raven, but that didn't bother Renard. With each death, the converted Iblis stone in his gauntlets glowed brighter, and he felt stronger. Wow. He was getting a bit bloodthirsty, wasn't he? Well, he wasn't. He was a warrior. They're supposed to be bloodthirsty. Have you ever felt you're just going round in circles? Renard felt like that. The core, absorbed in the stone, was doing its job perfectly. Renard could feel a little Eldritch jolt every time he downed a Raven, but then it flowed into the glowing stone the way water flows down a river. It all felt perfectly natural, as if all his life, this was what he had been meant to do. Renard tore to the last remaining guards at the outpost like hot coffee through snow. There was a far speaker told here.
Pior que eu preciso tirar esse aqui, eu coloquei só pra fazer teste.
He knew she would be thrilled.
Mas não rolou.
She wanted him to come back to base. They had plans to discuss and a medal to give him. A large golden medal. Great, said Renardo. Let's talk about who else I can kill. Then the far speaker croaked again.
Hello, Renardo, he said. If you get sick of slaughtering second-rate birds in the Nexus, I'm waiting for you in the mountains.
Zenobia. She missed him. She loved him. Once she saw how awesome he'd become, maybe she'd join him. They'd kiss and well, if she did refuse for some reason, he was no match for him now. doubt she hoped to lure him into a trap. Well, he was nobody's son, especially not hers.
A gente já sabe que ela é uma
He
pilantra
would go
mesmo.
where the council pointed him.
Preciso tirar aquela joia e colocar do escudo de novo.
As he set foot on the island, Renard felt energized, like when he was hunting or dancing. Then he smelled it, the stench of ravens. It was a good thing he was here too, before he tripped over the secret bait. He was really saving the council code's bacon, so to speak. Renard was making himself dizzy. Fun! Renard had an artifact that made him practically a godlike warrior.
Precisamos de algumas
What he had
batalhas
to do
aqui,
now was
né?
collect his metal, head for the Imperial fleet, and raise some hell.
Ele tinha batalha.
How would you convince a firewolf you're its friend? Renard was a hero of the revolution. He deserved a medal. Soon he deserved every medal they had, and hopefully one big medal ceremony in front of everybody with trumpets so everyone could know what he'd accomplished.
Acho que tem algum corte de caminho quando passar por esse lugar aqui. Sempre tem.
Hey, why don't you guys find him groups?
Aí.
I know. Because
Vamos embora, porque esse caminho a gente nunca pegou. Não vai acontecer alguma coisa nova, com certeza.
Inside the rebel base, Renard was invited to the council speaker's private chambers. So, this is the Iblis stone? He said. I can feel its power. Renard told her how he had fed the core to the stone and made something even more useful than either. Crazy like a fox, she crowed. And Renard chuckled as if he'd never heard the joke before. We've given you the best quarters and a bottle of Tantalonian firewater, all for you. So they'd remembered. He woke in the morning with the sweetest of hangovers. The Iblis stone was gone from his goblet. The corridors were empty, except for a few rebels who looked just as hungover as him. Come on, you'll miss the battle, they yelled. Renard added sail as the Farfarers scudded across the sky. Who could have taken the Iblis stone? Was it some Imperial spy? He would find him and kill him and take the stone back.
Eu acho que foi o Lapino, né? Coisa safada. Todo mundo é pilantra nessas histórias, não existe um caminho certo. Todos os caminhos que você faz aqui, você se lasca, cara. Você morre.
Renard had a bad taste in his mouth. He was killing ravens, but it wasn't fun. It felt like a chore. Renard hated
Eu vou
chores.
ter que morrer se não
As a
for
fox kid,
pagando.
he'd gone hungry rather than clean his room. He still didn't clean it. So he just moved house every few years. Who had the Iblis stone anyway? Up ahead, he could hear screaming and croaking and cawing. But who was winning?
Ah, mas a pedra tá comigo.
There it was again. The back door to the portal that went to the center of the fleet.
Então ela vai me ajudar de qualquer jeito também.
As she ran forward, Renard noticed that some ravens were starting to ignore him. Just running away. Who were they running from? Some hero of the revolution? If some of the so-called hero of the revolution had the stone and tried to take his victory and his medals, Renard would be seriously pissed off. He was the hero, not some other person.
Tava de umas 7 batalhas, mano. Mais agora, 7 ainda. Tomara que esse final não upe. Faltam 7.000, velho. Finalmente, nosso finalzinho.
Fine. Renard came to the Emperor's ship. Zenobia lay dead in front of it. The ship was a wreck. Ravens lay dead, sprawled everywhere. Bloody feathers spattered across the deck in the dock. The council speaker came out. She was waving a sword around like a flag. Look at me, Renardo! She croaked. The Iblis stone on the sword was black as coal. Now I am the Empress, and all shall tremble before me, she croaked. So the stone had her. It was in her brain, whining for blood. I'm afraid I can't allow that, said Renard, and moved to fight her. Toads are not usually good with swords. Something about the footwork. And the council speaker was not even a warrior. She was always tripping over things, which is quite an impressive achievement when you're a toad. Yet somehow, she was pressing Renardo backwards as he desperately tried to keep her sword away from his throat. Look, why don't you keep the stone? He asked. You deserve it. Blood and souls for Iblis, she croaked. Blood and souls. She got under his guard with her sword. It was just the tip. But sometimes just the tip is enough. He could feel his soul being sucked into the stone. As he died, he felt embarrassed more than anything else.
Infelizmente, mais uma vez a gente morre. Um herói que merece sua medalha, que não deixará ninguém roubar seu título de herói. E a gente continua no próximo. Para você que está acompanhando aí, falta só 3 finais pra gente finalizar o jogo. Para liberar a estátua, dei uma pesquisada e libera uma outra missão aqui. Então a gente tem mais 4 vídeos pra gente ver o que vem aqui. E continua no próximo episódio, galera. Valeu, obrigado pra você que tá acompanhando de verdade, viu? Um abraço.